Okay, the plan now is to make 6 small toe clamps out of this bar material. So they're going to be about that long. So I'm going to drill a hole there and tap a hole just there, and we'll do a cut, turn a radius here, a bit of an end on them, and we'll make 6 of those. I haven't got a stop set up here because I don't have one, but the distances are not critical. So I'm just lining the part up with the end of the jaw. And we'll now tap these in the same place. Alright, so I'm actually going to tap these by turning the mill by hand. Power tap them, but at least I don't break a tap doing it this way. Okay, this is a method I saw on Dale's YouTube from memory of the method of turning a radius on the end of a piece of square bar without using a rotary table. So we want the radius to be flush with the end, so just touching there now. So it's just a matter of progressively knocking corners off. So the first one is the biggest corner, so we'll take this one fairly easily. And yes, I know we are cutting against the moving jaw, not the fixed jaw. just that you and I can both see better this way. So you get the picture. We just keep on rotating the piece, making sure it's sitting on the pivot point. And also making sure that we don't have any little burrs down here when we rotate it any further. Got another big cut here, we'll take this carefully. Knock that other corner off. And last corner. Small. So as you can see, we have a reasonably good radius. We finish that off with a file, and they're all the same. A lot of people are probably not aware that there's a right way and a wrong way of filing a radius. So the wrong way is like that. So that is the wrong way. The correct way is like that. And believe me, it does make a difference. When you first do it, it feels wrong. But after a bit of practice, it starts to become natural. And you do get a much better job at the end of it. I think it's got something to do with the way you rock your elbow. So there's the finished, well, not the finished radius, but there's all the flats taken off, and it's not too bad. It's not perfect, of course, but it's a heck of a lot better than you'd get if you filed it the other way. Still got to use your judgment to make sure you don't do it lopsided. is tempted to go that way, but you end up with a better job by doing it this way. So that's not too bad for hand finishing. And we made 4 and there are only 3 here. What's happened to the last one? There. The engineer showed me this about 40 years ago. I've never read it in a book, but it's probably written down somewhere. And that one was actually quite, only had about 3 flats on it, this one, and it turned out alright. Right, so the next job is to shape that end with the traditional shape. Which is that. So the next job is to put that end on there, which should be a fairly straightforward milling job as long as I can work out some stops. Right, so we're just going to knock the corners off both of these. So we're going to take off that corner there and that corner there. The angle's 30 degrees. I've got the angle set up on this protractor. So we'll do one side at a time so we get them both the same. those up with a file. Okay, well, we've got a fair way down the track. This is the indexing plate, and we've made up some T-nuts for the dividing head. We've got a Morse taper here that's 15 mils in diameter there. We have 15 mil holes in the indexing plate and the mounting plate, so let's get it together and see how it goes. Need to get some slightly longer screws, but these will do the job in the meantime. Right, so this is the going to be the indexing plate for the dividing head, and I need to space it off this plate, otherwise when I drill the holes in it I'll end up putting holes in that, so I'm going to use these T-slots off the mill as the spacers, and I'll put them just underneath the edge of the plate so that I know where they are, so that I don't end up drilling a hole in them. So they're just under that edge of each of the holes. Right, so I've made up 4 toe clamps, especially for the job. I think the toe clamps took longer to make than the discs in actual fact. Now I need a 91 hole plate, which is a little bit awkward. What I'm going to do is find the right Allen key. tighten these because I'll end up warping the plate if I'm not careful. Get an awful lot of tension on a on 4 bolts. Right, so the plate that I actually need is 91 holes, but I'm going to start off with something nice and easy like around 35, 36 teeth, 36 holes, because 91 is 4 degrees and a number of minutes of angle, which I'm going to have to be very careful in my indexing here that I don't muck it up. Whereas I do something nice and easy like 36 holes, that'll be every 10 degrees. So I'll have a look and see what is a useful number of holes for a practice, and I'll just do a practice run here in a few minutes.